Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are tuning in from today. We are back with the Vibe Online podcast with myself, Karen, and Megan, who is currently in Spain.
I
So
am indeed. Hi, guys.
we are this week really excited to speak to you guys about learning how to leverage other people's money. Now, when I first started the business, I was like, what do you mean other people's money? Like, what are you talking about? I can't just borrow money off people to start a business. But actually, we are going to dive a little bit deeper into this. In previous episodes, we have spoke about money, investment, our poor money mindsets, my awful credit card history with money, etc. And we have learned and developed our own skills of leveraging money, making it work, and running successful businesses. So we are here, as we always are, to share everything, the real raw truth, absolutely no gatekeeping here whatsoever. And we have had lots of conversations with incredible people of late, and there's so many of you guys looking to start businesses online, but the money mindset kicks in. And, as we've always said, we're not here to sell to anybody. We're here to give you as much value as we possibly can to help you make a judgment call for what suits your financial situation. And everybody's financial situation is very, very different. And we are aware of that, and we respect everybody for your individual reasons for potentially not starting, or the fear kicks in, or a million reasons why. But ultimately, for those of you that have reached out to me and Meg, who are already in the business, or who are looking to start something, to whatever the reason may be, escape that 9 to 5 grind every single day like Meg did. Meg now no longer has to commute into London every single day. I now have to get up and scrape the car in a freezing cold morning
Mhm.
and go to work and stuff like that. So we have been on a journey for the last 2 years, and we have learned an incredible amount of not just knowledge but skills, and we're here to just share that with you guys and kind of like address and try and help you look at the fears in a different angle. I know I had more than you, Meg, at the beginning, didn't I? Um, it was much more of an easier decision for Meg to get started than it was for me, and that's just the nature of the beast, because everybody is so different, and this business model does fit everybody in your own unique way, which is what I love about it. But today I'm going off on a bit of a tangent, as we do, but today we are going to talk about how to learn to leverage other people's money. Now, what we mean by that is, not going to your spouse, your parent, your grandparent, your aunt, your uncle, or whoever that is, and be like, can you please lend me some money so I can start a business? That's kind of not what we're talking about here. What we're talking about is making money work for you. So, yes, I had an awful history of credit cards when I was younger because I didn't understand how they worked or how to use them. And what I know now is that credit cards are very, very powerful. One, if you use them properly, they will boost your credit score, skyrocket it. When I went through my divorce, obviously hit rock bottom, my credit score was appalling. It was like 200 and something. That was awful. And I remember looking at it thinking, oh my God, I'm never going to get that back up. What happened then was, when I started to learn how to use credit cards effectively when I started the business, I'm now in a very fortunate position with my credit score, and I'm very proud of myself for learning, having the patience to do it, and having the patience to build my credit score back up. So with that, what we both did when we started the businesses, nobody comes into business because we've got money or time. We come into a business because we want more money and we want more time. So with that, again, we have to be clever with how we do that. So what we did, I certainly did, went to the, what's he called? Money saving expert guy. I
Martin Lewis.
Martin Lewis, there he is. Thanks, Meg. I went on his website. Now, that's an incredible website for learning about money. That's his sole knowledge skill, is finances and money. And what I did was I purchased a 0% credit card, and then I actually purchased 3 more so that I could get started with the business, because sometimes you only get a little amount of credit cards. So I certainly learned how to use that, and then be able to invest in the money that wasn't costing me any more, but was allowing me to pay the minimal payments every month without being charged ridiculous amounts of credit cards. And then what you can do if you don't pay that off within the 0% time frame, then you can balance transfer. And as long as you balance transfer before that interest is increased, then you're not actually spending any more money other than just the investment that you've put down.
Mm.
But also what I wanted to share was people in business over the years that have been in very similar positions to us and have become super successful. And I was learning about this just last week. So we have the likes of J.K. Rowling, for example. It took her 7 years from writing her first Harry Potter book to actually getting it published. And she had that belief. She had the vision that she was going to make this happen and become a success. And, you know, look at her now. She's one of the top selling novelists in the world. You know, she had that belief, and she certainly didn't have a pocket full of money. She went through a pretty traumatic divorce in her time as well, I believe I read at some point. So everybody's got a story, everybody's got a journey, and everybody's got some kind of pain that's going on in their life that they want to get rid of. Richard Branson, he started his business. Now, this is pretty difficult to believe. Like, he started his business with a $300 loan.
Wow.
I was like, let that sink in a minute.
You all know who Richard Branson is.
Yeah, and if you
Where he is now.
go Google him, I'm sure most of you know who he is. But I
Yeah.
was like, $300, and now look at him.
Yeah.
Amazing what you can do with a very little amount of money. And then there's Sam Walton. So I didn't know who Sam Walton was, but he is the founder of Walmart. Now, Walmart in
Okay.
America is massive, right? He, in 1945, so this is freaking years ago, he borrowed $25,000. Now, back then, that is a lot of
A lot
money.
of money. Mm.
And $20,000 of that was off his father-in-law. And now, because he took that chance to use other people's money and borrow money, yeah, he used his father-in-law, but not everybody has the money to give. But you know, this is just an example. Like, where he is now, he is the biggest retailer in America. Walmart's, everything's Walmart in America. You can get from, I don't know, from food to nappies to clothes to furniture to everything in Walmart, all from $25,000. And then who else do we have? I've got all my notes written down here. So we've got Bill Hewlett and Dave Packard. I didn't know who they were either. They're the co-founders of Hewlett and Packard. I was like, okay, that makes sense because of their surnames. So they started their industry giant with only $538.
Wow.
It's like, what? And apparently that was just in assets. That's all they had in assets. So it wasn't even cash. So now they have a capital of $88 billion. So again, that's two people that had a vision that used other people's money to create a super powerful business. And it's just like, I never knew any of these facts and figures, but then it makes sense because I never looked at a credit card as other people's money, but of course it is, it's the bank's money. And then my favorite one, we all love a good Starbucks, right? I love Starbucks. And Jerry, Zeb, and Gordon, apparently the three co-founders of Starbucks, they each invested $13,000 into that business. And then they had to invest a further $5,000 each from the bank. And they are now bringing in over $10 billion a year in revenue. It just, it absolutely blows my mind. Like, to invest such a small amount of money for such a huge return with no interest on that either. And I think this is really important. And I think I now know if I had had this information back in the beginning, my decision to get started would have been a lot easier. And I think it would have taken away a lot of the fears of, is it going to work? Am I going to get my return of investment? Am I going to make my money back? Is it something I'm just going to lose money on? I think everybody goes through these kind of thoughts. What about you, Meg? What kind of thoughts did you have in the beginning?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, just listening to you speak there and share those people's individual journeys in business, and they're all from different sectors and industries, and their
Yeah.
drive and their visions were all so different. But I think the overwhelming realization in that is it does not matter how much or a lit or as little as you have, you can make it happen for yourself. And it really does come down to vision, belief, and how much you want it. Like you will always find a way. And, regardless of what your kind of money situation is, like, yeah, I know we're talking right now about leveraging, um, you know, other people's money and credit cards, which, as we've said before, we got started with our own credit cards ourselves, and it is borrowing money from the bank. But truthfully, if you truly want this and you want to create a different life for yourself, that you've seen that huge revenue gap that you just said there, that $10 billion for Starbucks, and
Yeah.
that started just with an idea of selling coffee, you know,
Yeah.
and being able to generate that amount of revenue over years. They probably could never have even imagined how far that would have gone for them. And now where they are now, because they decided we're going to do this and we're going to do it sensibly, because it is sensible to borrow somebody else's cash to build your business at 0% interest. You're paying nothing for that,
Yeah.
nothing at all, and you're building a business. Like, I started on a 2-year interest-free credit card. Two of them. One of them wasn't even mine. One of them was Michael's. And so I had 2 years to build and get my business, running into profit or that kind of stuff. And even if it hadn't have hit profit, you can balance transfer to another 0%. There are so many ways and means that you can do this. Like I think we've mentioned before about Rich Dad Poor Dad, the book that
Yes.
we've read that has, really helped with that kind of personal financial position. It gives two sides of the story of a rich dad and a poor dad and the kind of mindset and the leveraging between them both. So it's a great one to listen to. It's also on Spotify, or to read the book. Reach out to one of us. We can give you that on ebook anyway. But like you say there, using this money, I think it really is that concept of you actually have to have credit to build credit. You
Yeah.
need to have a credit card to build a credit card. So I've mentioned in previous episodes that you guys will know our stories. If you haven't, then have a listen back on those. But I never ever ever had a credit card in my life. It was always a scary thing for me because I grew up in a family that didn't have a lot of money at all. It was always kind of, well, forbidden almost to be like, you know, don't get into debt. That was always instilled into me because, my dad was for a long time, he was bankrupt. We had Providence at our door, all kinds of stuff, right? And, we were evicted and we lived in all kinds of environments because money was so lax. So it was instilled to me from a day dot of don't ever get a credit card, don't ever get a debt, don't ever let anything hang over you, just deal with your own money, that kind of stuff. So I always lived within my means. So when I wanted to start my business, because I wanted to change my whole situation and my financial situation, because we cannot do that without putting something in. And I physically couldn't do that with my wage that I was on. So I needed to understand credit and get onto that. And when I wanted to get onto the property ladder and purchase my property, they wouldn't give me a mortgage because I had no credit. And I'm like, how can this be? I thought it would be great, but it's not. You need to do those things, to make those investments. You need to show the bank that you are good at paying these things back, that yes, you can live within your means, yes, you can pay these credit cards back, yes, you can, the minimum payment could be anywhere between, I don't know, like 20 and £100 a month or something, you know. I think, yeah, it was about £140 for me to pay back two credit cards. And that for me, for the sake of not doing other things, I had just a bit of disposable income because I stopped going out so much, buying crap food and drinks and all that kind of, we kind of go through this process of what's actually important. Okay, I want to build this business. I want to change my entire lifestyle. I want to be able to travel and work. I want to be able to create financial security for my future family. I don't want it to be the same situation as it was that I was growing up. And perhaps you're listening to this and also feel the same. And that's what your drive is and why you're listening to this and why you're thinking, I need to take that step soon, but I'm just not ready. And what is that barrier? Is it the money barrier that we're talking about right now? And I want to speak to you directly and say, if you want to do this, you need to take that step. You need to, educate yourself on money and finances, and just look at what your options are. Because you can do a soft credit search, which basically makes no difference to your credit rating whatsoever. And I didn't know about this, but I educated myself when I first started this business, that you can do a soft credit search, like Karen said there, with the Martin Lewis and Money Supermarket and these kind of credit sites that will do comparisons, and it won't affect anything for you. You can see, okay, 0%, 2 years, however much it's going to give you. Fantastic. You can start a business with anything that you have,
Yeah.
and then when you can kind of like scale things back depending on what your position is, which we help you with as well. We're like Karen says, we're not gatekeepers. We're also not here to put anyone in a worse financial situation. That's not why we do this. We mentor people because we want people to change their lives, and that's why we share this information and all of this knowledge, because we're on the other side of it now, and we have the benefit and fortunate position that we can listen to these entrepreneurs every single day. And these are people that have come from absolutely nothing. They've been sleeping in their cars, they've been repossessed their homes, they've been made redundant, and they've built from having nothing, having no money, borrowing money from the bank, and then building their businesses to such a position that they will never, ever, ever have to look at a receipt again. Think about what they're spending at the supermarket, taking their family out for dinners, taking them on holidays, retiring their loved ones and their partners. All of these things in life, like money can buy you, with the freedom of time and money and those kind of luxuries. We're listening to them firsthand, and we're surrounding ourselves with people like that. So we're passing this information on to you guys, because we don't want you to be in the same position as you are now in a year, 2 years, 3, 4, 5 years time, because you were too scared to actually educate and look into what this could potentially grow into. And like you said, there were those stories. It doesn't matter what you have. It matters how much do you want it, and how
Yeah.
much are you willing to build that knowledge and understand that borrowing money from the bank doesn't affect you in any way. I don't like to say free money because it sounds
Yeah.
crazy, but it is. You can get your business off the ground, you can get it, you pay this money back, but it's got zero interest on it. You're not paying for that money. It's free, and you can get a business that will look after you for the rest of time,
Yeah.
for that credit.
Yeah, definitely. And the other thing as well, you can write off so many business expenses against tax.
Absolutely, yeah.
And that's another thing that you can do. And especially because of this business, and it allows us to work from home, and it allows us to just be us and be who we are. You can also write your tax off against your rent, your bills, your clothes.
Yep.
Like I work in my van
Water.
in the summer, so I can write off my fuel costs, my van costs, your mobile phone costs. You can write off so much against tax. So I think I certainly was, when I first came in, I was like, oh my God, right, okay, so I want to do this. I don't know how I'm going to get the money, as I said. And then you start to panic. It's like, I've never ran an own business before. Like, I don't even know where to
Mm.
start. I don't know what to do. Like, how do I even figure out my monthly finances? How do I deal with all that? How do I deal with the tax bill? How do I do this? And then everything is a learning game, isn't it? But within this business model, we get everything given to us. So we get that education on running your business, running your books. All you got to do is find a decent accountant. Like, decent accountants really don't cost that much money in the grand scheme of things either. And again, that's another tax write-off. So then when I started to learn all this, I was like, I actually never knew how much you could write off against the business. All the business trips that we go on, all the traveling that you do for the business, all this is a tax write-off. And it's funny,
Yeah.
like I watched one of the girls in the business today who's a 7-figure earner, and she was talking about all this, and I thought, what, it's really nice that money is not such a taboo subject as what it used to be. People talk freely and openly about money. There's still obviously, like, my parents' generation and stuff that don't talk about money, and that's just the way they are, and they don't really fully understand what we are doing and how we create businesses and make them work in the online space, especially. But ultimately, running a business is running a business, whether it's online or offline.
Mm-hmm.
You're obviously
Exactly.
got your other business as well, Meg, that you run independently yourself. And I think it's just educating people, because there's so much fear out there. I know I certainly had a lot of fear in the beginning of starting a business and how to just kind of navigate around it all. And it was so confusing. But
Mm.
as I say, what I love about this business is that you literally get taught everything. You even get a spreadsheet, which is all formulated and everything. So all you have to do is put your little figures in it every month and then pop it to the tax man, and not the tax man, the accountant, who sorts the tax man out for you. And then that's it. So really, there's no stress with it at
Yeah, yeah, quite literally, so much of it is there and available to you. And what you need to remember as well is that thousands of people have done this before you, and
Yeah,
they are giving their time, their effort, their energy, their trading platforms, their spreadsheets, their
yeah,
knowledge and their skills directly to you so that you can absorb it and use it yourself. You know, it's not an overnight wonder. This has been around for over, 50 years. And you have that whole community, and people stick around in this business because it's so phenomenal and it
yeah,
allows you to have that. But like you said there, with like the older generation and things, I don't quite understand with what it means to kind of work online. I'm in Spain at the moment with Michael's nan, and she's like, what is it you do then? You just work on your laptop. I can be outside in the sun and having cups of coffee and go out for lunch with her, take her out. In between kind of working and things. I'm like, yeah, well, this is what I do. Try and explain it. She doesn't, she's on Facebook every now and again, but they don't quite get it. They don't always understand that the opportunities that we have today,
yeah,
which is fine. But like you say, a business, online or offline, it's still a business, and you still put your effort and your time into it. But we just have so much more capability and opportunity here. And like you mentioned with the tax things there, I know exactly who you're talking about as well, because I saw the post this morning also.
yeah,
But it's so key. Your internet, your laptop, your phone, everything is tax deductible, right?
yeah,
But if you think about it as well, some people, they're like, keep security of a job. But I'm how more are we seeing now how actually unsecure jobs are in
yeah,
this day and age? The employer has control over whether you work or not, how much money you get paid, how much time you're able to take as leave, how much time, if there's an emergency, are you actually able to take that time off? We are controlled within a job environment, whereas when you have a business online, you have all of these resources to take on for yourself and then create that own freedom for yourself, and you do that entirely as you and who you want to be. There's no definition of a job role. You're not replaceable in this business because it's you, right? Okay, it's wonderful because it will be at a position, if you need to move away from it, it's still going to be exactly the same position, because there's no targets, no subscriptions, no anything that are going to take this away from you. Once you have that stability and that foundation of this business, that's it forever. You can come and go however much you please. That's entirely your decision. Obviously, me and Karen are going all of the way with
yeah,
this. We're hitting the legacy income ranks and supporting our family for the rest of the time, and we'll be looked after also, whilst going to these incredible events that are also tax deductible, which you guys, hopefully, I'm very hopeful that you guys will be joining us on in years to come also. Which we have one just coming up in gosh, 2 weeks.
yeah, not long at all.
Yeah, yeah. So it really is something like food for thought to think, okay, potentially what can we do here? You're going to get some people get finance out for cars and pay 300, £400 out every month without even blinking an eyelid. You
Yeah,
make money for that. You make time and money for that to be part of your expenditure. But is that bringing you anything back? Is that bringing you an income? Is that bringing your children their legacy? Is that bringing you your freedom, your time? That money that you find money for, you get in finance. It's like just like getting credit from the bank. you know 0% finance for 10 months on a car, you're still paying 300, £400 back, but you can get a 0% interest credit card for 2 years, pay 100 quid back a month, and you've got a whole business there for life.
it's
It's an asset over a liability.
and when you put the figures like that so simply, one of my best friends, like, pays hundreds of pounds a month for a car, and it doesn't bring her any investment, and she's looking now to get rid of it and just get a little run around that she can afford, which is sensible. because she's also looking to start up a business too. But when you're like £300 or £400 a month for a car that gives you no return but does nothing but cost you money,
Yep.
but yet we both invested in a business that cost us less than £200 a month to pay back a 0% credit card. When you actually put pen to paper and put the figures down there in black and white, you can then actually really sit and compare what your spending is, what's your outgoing, what is bringing you in revenue, what is contributing to your life, what's contributing to help you escape the corporate world, or whatever your vision for your future is that you're looking to leave behind now. Is a debt of a new car going to help you towards that? Because new cars are debt. And a business is an investment. It's not debt. It's an investment. There's a huge difference there. And the fact that with this business, depending on where you start, you can make your investment back after just 4 sales. Like, that's it. 4 sales. You cannot make the money back in your car after 4 trips in it. It's going to cost you more money. So it's
But
really,
look at it this way as well. If you do want the fancy cars, totally cool. Build yourself a business
yeah,
that will pay for that car outright if you want to,
yeah.
or pay for that finance that can then also be tax deductible, guys.
Yeah, yeah,
That's
you've
out
really got to
there.
be clever with money, don't you? That's another good perspective. Like, everything, all the niceties that you want, like you want the bigger house, you want the nicer car, you want all that kind of stuff. You want the nice fancy clothes, or whatever, you want better for your kids. Everything that you can provide through a business like what we have here will pay you dividends, and it will save you in the long run so much money. And it's just having that mindset shift and realization, I think, and actually hearing it come from somebody who's now living that life. Obviously we are not yet where we want to be. Like Meg said, we are taking it all the way. There's lots of new things in the pipeline for me and Meg. So tune in, guys, and don't miss what will be coming over the next few episodes, months, and years.
Yeah.
We are here for the long game, not the short game. So yeah, have a think about what we've said. If you do want to explore any more, or you think, okay, right now you're in a position where you're ready for a call, or you want to reach out to us, jump in, as we always say, jump in our inboxes, messages. You'll get us over on Instagram. My handle is karen.i.gallagher, and Meg is now
Courage to create change.
yes. So yeah, get us over there, guys. We're also on Facebook. There's links in our bios to loads of free information for you. We have a 50-minute webinar that we can send across to you. And if you just want to chat a little bit more and dive in a little bit deeper of kind of like the cogs of everything and what we do and how we do it, then we're here to help you create that life that you currently sit with a vision of, and help you get to where you want to be. Really, the business is just a vehicle to the life that we all dream of or have dreamt of one day and achieve. So yeah, don't
Totally.
be just sitting in the back alleys watching. Like, come and speak to us,
Yeah. I mean,
come and get involved in the community.
people that I've been speaking to recently, they're like, I just want, I just find it so much easier to just have a conversation with someone. I'm like, well, yeah, that's why we're on a call together. Let's just have a conversation.
Yeah,
It doesn't have to be, go this place, that place, da, 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 da. Just, you want the answers, come and ask them.
yeah.
Simple
Yeah,
as.
that's it. And as we
But
said at
yeah,
the beginning, we're not any gatekeepers here. Me and Meg are here to share it all with you. Like, as we said, the highs, the lows, the good, the bad, the ugly, like literally everything. And we are real and raw. We both came into this with no money. We had a vision, we had a dream, we had a goal. We made it happen. We've hit hurdles along the way. We've had bad days when there's been lots of tears and frustration, but also we've had ultimately more amazing high days when it's been
yeah,
incredible.
and tears of joy.
Yes, yeah, exactly. So a world of emotion, but it's an incredible journey that we're on. And I never ever thought when I was in my corporate job that I'd be working alongside multimillionaires who are just normal people.
Mm. Yeah, it took an adjustment really to go from, because we're both from the corporate world and being very professional, to just being actually just a normal human being, and just being quite, a bit informal and just giving that, and that's actually how we get paid.
Yeah.
That's actually how we build our
Yeah.
business, is just being a normal, compassionate, normal human being. So
Yeah.
yeah, that was a bit of an adjustment, but that's what we want to share with you guys as well. And that's why we do these podcasts, so you can see that, we're super down to earth, and like, we genuinely just want to help people and give you this information. We really hope you got some nuggets from this episode. Hopefully it hasn't triggered anyone, but if it has, maybe perhaps just have a little step back and think, why am I being triggered by this? Why am I being
Yeah.
triggered by, the subject of money? It's something that I had to figure out as well, because as soon as anyone would mention money, I'm like, oh no, zip, mouth zipped, closed. We don't talk about it. But now we're very, very open about talking about it. So have a think about it. Hopefully it's given you loads of value. We can't wait to see you on the next episode, and also to share all of the big things that will be happening over the next few months. And yeah, catch us on the next episodes, guys. Take it easy.
Yeah. Have a great day, guys. We'll see you next week.